everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. Those of you who are here, we're so thrilled to have you right here in our presence because there's a big difference, right, when we're together. And then, of course, a big, huge welcome to the virtual world where we don't even know where you are. I know some of you are beyond our borders and that this is something that lives forever. So we trust that it's inspiration for a long time to come. So my name is Frankie and I'm the Spiritual Director here at Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. And we are still celebrating the theme for August, which is a pause for guidance, which we really focused on in August. And it's the theme for the year that it fits into, which is timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. Today the topic is New Day, a New Way. The whole word new is truly significant in our teaching because we are under the umbrella of a new thought. And I'll say more about that. So the topic today is about thinking about how summertime is coming to an end. I know it's another month or so, but because of our holiday coming up, it's the unofficial end of summer, right? And so we're going to think about and reflect on what we've learned and what the gifts and the blessings were. And then we're going to think about how can we take from that a gift to the collective, as a gift to the collective of what's happening in our world. And that requires us to practice our values, and in our case, our principles. So we invite you to check out our website, and that is cslmorristown.org. And that's also a place where you can now give if you'd like to support what we're doing here. There's also room to give in the baskets up here and in the back. So there's lots of opportunities. And if you are on Facebook, make some comments, ask questions, use the bubbles, say hello to each other, share our page, share today's talk anywhere you can, and just say hello. And if you're on YouTube, you can even make comments there. There's only a thumbs up and a thumbs down, which you can both use. I won't take it personally. We're grateful that Ben is here today doing our IT work because Michael is on his honeymoon with his beloved Tammy. Yes! The wedding was fabulous and the weather held up, which was great. And Kate Narson is not here today. She has COVID. So let's keep her in our prayers, her and her family. And so Monica said, I'll come and I'll do the music, so we're really grateful. And then, of course, our assistant practitioner is always a blessing because it really makes the Sunday morning celebration connected and beautiful. And today we have Susan Niedt, who is a practitioner at CSL Princeton. So, I want you to make sure that when you walk out the door, that you pick up a couple of flyers. Those of you that are online, take a look at our website because we have some really amazing things in store for you for the fall. A week from Sunday, or actually a week from today, we have guest speaker Reverend Michelle Wadley, who got kind of her start here. And the week after, we're meeting virtually only. So the building will be closed, and that's with my dear colleague, Reverend Patrick Carbula. So check that out. He's also doing a workshop after celebration on Zoom. He's a wonderful workshop leader. And whenever he's done a workshop here, people have absolutely loved it. So that's something that you're going to want to sign up for. So be sure to check that out. And I think that's, so the two things that are happening in September is a class. I'm starting a basic science of mind class, but it's really for beginners and for advanced students because it's looking at our history. It's called From Whence We Came, and it's a 10-week class, and it's on Zoom, and there are two opportunities, an evening and a day class. So take a look at that. And then I'm teaching a workshop on relationships in October. I've learned one or two things about relationships in the last 6 decades, I guess. And so I'm bringing them as experience and an opportunity for healing. discovered for affirmative prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes, to take a breath, to let everything outside of you fall away, and to remember that there's something inside of us that is infinite, that is eternal, that is ever-giving, that is the absolute fullness of life, meaning there's nothing missing, lacking, or broken. And so by bringing our attention to it, it resurfaces into the mind and the heart in a new way, in a different way. And today we make a deeper promise to listen, to surrender, to trust this inner truth that is ever present and ever available to us. This is worthy of gratitude and celebration. I know that no matter what is going on in our lives or in the world, we can always step into that place of truth and be guided by it, be fed by it, be nurtured by it. And as we do, we have new ideas, new thoughts, new experiences. Today we welcome them because they allow us to be a presence, a healing presence in the world. And so with awe and gratitude for this, we allow ourselves to be open to the experience at hand and to allow to dissolve whatever might be in the way. And so it is. All right, let's have some music with Monica.
Hello. I just wrote the song this week, a little bit of response to everything that's been going on in the news, and also a conversation I had with my stepdad, who is a Vietnam veteran. So this is dedicated to him. Dear soldier, I know you care about the situation out there. Dear soldier, I care too. In that way, we're the same, us two. You know that everyone counts, yes they do. Know about what's happening behind the news. Know that everyone counts as much as me and you. Yeah, we'll lay down our lives if we're called to, 'cause nature is wise and so are we. And love has no bounds to tell us when it's over. Yes it will, yes it did, yes it does. Dear soldier, I know you care about the situation out there. Dear soldier, I care too. Though I'm just a singer who plays the piano too. Poverty, violence, hunger, desperation, confusion can be solved through
goodness.
So sweet. Sweet song. Thank you. Okay, so it's the unofficial end of summer next weekend, right? How are you feeling about it? Are you like ready? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you depressed? What is it like for you? What are some of the gifts that you've received from going through your summer? How have you paused and reflected and refreshed and renewed? Anybody?
Lots of plants.
Lots of plans. Were they fun things?
Oh, plants. But yeah.
Oh, plants. Lots of plants. Yes, lots of plants. Lots of green, lots of light. Yes. What else?
Lots of outdoors.
Lots of outdoor things, right? And what happens when we are outdoors? It's very healing, right? What else? What are some things that you're grateful for that you've done this summer or that you experienced this summer? Gardening.
Live at the center.
Live at the center. Yeah.
Biking.
And biking. Traveling.
Family gatherings.
Family gatherings. Yes, Morgan.
Learning how to ride my new pedal bike.
Learning how to ride your new pedal bike. Yes, I have a new bike too. I'm going to have to show you mine if you show me yours. So yes, if you think about it and you just kind of feel into it with the theme of pause for guidance, it's really important that we reflect on what some of the gifts and the blessings have been of this season. The good news is if you haven't yet, there's still time. Not only is there time through the holiday weekend to the unofficial end of summer, but you have until September, 21st? And so it's really about, summertime is really about a time to slow down, right? As I referred to before, that country time lemonade commercial is such a beautiful imagery for it. And so it's a time for renewal, but it means that we have to remember to look at what's new. Because we are in a new thought philosophy, a new thought teaching, so we look to have new thoughts, because new thoughts lead to new experiences and new action, right? So it's a new way of thinking. I realize that I haven't taken any vacation this year. But going through this health challenge hasn't at all been like a vacation. But it has allowed me to slow down and to pause. But Norman and I are going on a road trip on Wednesday. We'll be going to Saratoga Springs, because his favorite horse track is there. I think one of his favorite, he's got many. And it's a really cool town, right? And then we're going to go up to the Finger Lakes, and then we're going to Maine. And he picked all the B&Bs. He knows exactly what I like. So it's going to be very relaxing to be out in nature and have no responsibilities. And it's really a time for me to think about what is made new, or what wants to be made new. Because it's important that we take time, even if it's a couple of hours a week, to unplug and to just reconnect with ourselves, to experience that sense of newness that wants to be lived. And so, if you think about it, we need this even more now. Because even if you don't watch the news, the world is in turmoil, right? I mean, look what's just happening now, right now, in the coast of, what do they call that coast, by New Orleans? The Gulf Coast. The Gulf Coast. And look at what's happened in Haiti and in Afghanistan, and what's happening with climate change and fires. And only last weekend, many New Jerseyans lost everything in their home. John Niedt, who's an assisting practitioner here, and his partner David, their house is destroyed because of the weather last weekend. And so we're experiencing a lot. On top of that, there's the whole COVID experience, which is like a roller coaster, right? And so that means that times of renewal and refreshing is even more important Because being on a spiritual path is demanding. And the demand is, do I live what I believe? Do I live these truth ideas that I've heard, maybe even studied, that I've read about, that I've learned here? And it's about becoming a new you by means of the principles that we teach. And so, obviously, what's happening in the collective, in the entire world, which started with the beginning of COVID, is that there is a huge shift happening in the collective consciousness. Because what was happening just couldn't continue. So it had to shift, and there had to be a turn, a pivot. And that pivot demands something of all of us. Because if we do not look at, think about, explore, reflect on what's demanded of us, then we don't realize that we have a gift to give, that we have a contribution to make in the world. And it doesn't mean anything really big, necessarily. It just means something is required of us to bring from our spiritual growth and evolution to the world, to be part of the shift into a healing direction, instead of a more disease direction. The way you would like to envision it. It's like, what would you love your future self to be or to become? How would you like to show up in the world as a healing presence? What has to happen in your consciousness that's different, that's new? It doesn't have to be anything big. It can just be a minute. Just take a minute now, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what would I love to experience as my future self, in my future self? What would I love to be, to do? And then just notice what comes. It might be nothing. That just means you need more time to listen. And it could be so simple that you dismiss it. Maybe it's being more loving presence, which sometimes they're just words, right? But they require action and thought. So the invitation is to have a new thought, a concept, to have a new idea about who you are and what is yours to bring into the world. There's an invitation for something to be lived that is yours to be given. Did anybody get an answer? Anybody get an answer? Yeah, what was it? Be happy every day. Yeah, it's so simple, right? It would be so easy to say, but be happy every day. Well, that's not it. Well, yes, that's it. That's it. Be happy every day. Now, what does that require of us, right? Who else? Anybody else have something that popped up?
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Oh my gosh, yes, the practice of gratitude in a new area, in a new way, is so powerful. It may mean that you choose to be grateful for something that up until now you've been complaining about, or cursing. Right? Anybody else? Yes.
Creative every day.
Say that again.
Creative.
To be creative every day. Yes, to be creative every day. We all have something, right, when we listen. And so it is Rumi who means that within the challenge, there is a rebirth. Within the death, there is a new life. Within the fear, there is love that wants to be experienced and expressed. It's something that I'm working with a lot at the moment, just really looking at what are my fears and how can I see the love in it and see what the growth is that wants to be birthed in that and through that. So, seeing our challenges as gifts, right? And so that means that when we make that shift from fear to faith, from loss to fullness, from brokenness to wholeness, or whatever language that we use, where that shift of healing is taking place, what's asked of us is that we come from our fullness. I don't know about you, but when I feel depleted, I don't have much to give. And I know that when I feel depleted and I don't have much to give, I have to be really careful how I show up in the world. Because if I come from a place of depletedness and having nothing to give, I am part of the diseased world. Not as a judgment at all, but just as an awareness. Because if we give from a place of brokenness, or from a place of depletedness, or from a place of limitation, it's a bit poisoning in the world. So that's where we have to step back and pause long enough so we can receive guidance and so we can fill up. And you know, for me, sometimes it's just a walk, a half-hour walk, or lying on the grass, or sitting looking at the birds outside my window. We think it requires a lot. Some people think it requires a year of silent retreat. And then it's like, well, I can't do that, so forget about it. No, it just requires very little a lot of the time. And so that moves us to clarity, from confusion to clarity. So what that requires of us is practice. That's why we do spiritual practices, right? That's why we do treatment or reach out for somebody else to do a treatment for us. It requires that we take a class. Good thing, we have one coming up. That you reach out to a practitioner, that you maybe pick up a new book that you haven't read for a while or that you would like to read. There's so many different things that we can do in a new practice. But what requires of us is a practicing the principles that we teach. The word principle can be confusing to people because it's our lingo, it's our jargon, right? Principles. We practice the principles. But what are some of the principles in our teaching? Who knows? Isn't it interesting that in this crowd, nobody knows?
Oneness.
Oneness is one of the principles. Yes, what else?
Love.
Love. What else?
God is all there is.
God is all there is. Yes, so you guys, take the class in September. Because you want these to be on the tip of your tongue. The principles that we teach are oneness, love, spiritual laws, truth, divine wisdom, freedom, eternal life. And so it's to think about that. Or maybe go to the back of the Science Fund textbook and look up the word principle. Or go to one of the chapters that talks about the principles of healing and say, what is one principle that I'm going to make my practice? Gratitude is a principle, right? And then to think about how am I resistant to practicing this principle, especially in the areas of my life where I might be challenged. So when I feel challenged because I don't feel well, I might practice the principle of healing as a truth principle, which is happening all the time as a principle, right? How can I tune into that principle? And so pick a favorite and see how you can practice it in a new way starting with towards for within yourself, right? Because that allows us to shift our consciousness from feeling like a victim, and sometimes that's extremely subtle, to really being aware that you and I play a very big part in the healing that is taking place on the planet. And we have to look for the demonstration of that. So that might mean that you look for some good news websites. That might mean that you read something different that you haven't read before that is more absolute in its teaching. And if you're here for the first time, you get a free book. But otherwise, we have a big sale going on that is from our bookstore, and it's right out there at the table. So choose something daily, and then check in. Check in with yourself. There's lots of ways to check in, right? And when we pause for guidance, that's a good time to check in. Is how am I taking care of myself? What wants to be made new in my self-care? What wants to be newly experienced when it comes to health? I recently worked with someone, and I have permission to share this with you, is that when we did this practice of what wants to be made new with health, and we did some visioning, this person was clearly guided to become vegan. And it came out of nowhere. And they are a carnivore. So, vegan. And so then when that happens, it's important to follow that and not ignore and dismiss it. Because it doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? It happens in the oneness of our life. That doesn't mean that they have to instantly do it perfectly and move into that direction, right? And so we pause and we say, is there something that wants to happen regarding my health? Is there a way I can better take care of myself? Do I need more sleep? Do you know that sleep is one of the most important aspects of your health? And so maybe it needs movement. Maybe it means that you have to move a little bit more. Maybe it means that you have to be more consistent in your spiritual practices, whether it's treatment, talking to a practitioner, taking a class, or meditating. There are reminders all day long, so just pay attention to them, right? And there's support everywhere if you just look for it. So I want to read from this thing called You, which we're studying with our practitioner students. We just talked about it in a big way on Wednesday, right? This is this thing called You, and it's chapter 13. You know that life, with a capital L, you know that life cannot withhold itself from you. All that life is and has is fully given to you to enjoy. The life of God is perfect and eternal. It's the essence of everything that is. Life is God's gift to you. It is always ready to manifest itself through you in its entire fullness. You are a self-choosing mind in a divinity which permeates everything. You are always in the midst of life, a life that lives eternally and lives through you now. Therefore, you need not be disturbed by the passage of time. I'll say that again. Therefore, you need not be disturbed by the passage of time, the movement around you, nor the variations of experience through which you go. Such a powerful phrase. I must have read this 100 times since we prepared it for class, because I needed it. I even copied it in my journal. Therefore, you need not be disturbed by the passage of time, the movement around you, nor the variations of experience through which you go. There is something within you that remains unmovable, that always speaks directly to you, saying, be still and know that I am God. It has a little prayer, so I'm going to say the phrase and I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. Nice and full-bodied. Consciously, I draw upon the life that is mine. I know that the fullness of life, which is divine in its origin, eternal in its presence, and forever available, is mine. The life of the eternal Spirit is my life. The infinite riches of its being are mine to enjoy. The vitality, the wisdom, and the peace of God are mine. I accept them in fullness, in joy, and in peace. You said it. You said it. So it is. The last paragraph I want to read to you is, you are part of the universal mind, one with the universal substance. You live, move, and have your being in pure spirit. All the wealth, the power, and the goodness of this spirit exists at the center of your being. You experience this good in such a degree as you accept, believe in, and feel. So today, the invitation is to more deeply know that there's something that is yours to bring into birth in this new time that is being created. To not fall into the old, the parts that are dying, but to really think about the newness and the rebirth. I know for me that when I'm having an experience, I pay attention to whether I feel fear or I feel love. Because fear isn't the guide. Fear is what wants to be healed. Love is the guide. Right? And then one of the things that you have loved about summer as a metaphor into your life. Take a summer blessing, the gift of one summer blessing, as a metaphor, and weave it into your way of being as you move into the next seasons. And then release one regret. I know there's still time to do this, but does anybody have a regret about summertime? Have a regret? Anyone? I regret I didn't. Nobody? Regret about the weather. Well, yeah, but that's right. So what's the regret?
That I complained about it.
Oh, the regret that you complained about the weather. That's a good one, because that's personal, right? So release that one.
Yep.
Just leave it in. Anybody else? Regret that you didn't travel more? That you didn't go to the beach more? Yes, Fernando.
Kayak.
And you didn't kayak. Yeah, just let it go. Right? Let it go, because if we hold a regret, it blocks us. So release the regret that you might have. Think about that. Embrace the blessing, weave it into your day-to-day living, and release whatever regret there still is. And there's still time. 21, 22 days-ish. All right, so now we are moving into you having an experience with the beautiful Susan Niedt, who's going to take us on a journey, a meditative journey, and then we'll have some more music.
Thank you, Reverend Frankie. As always, it's a privilege to be here. I come here always in love and joy. It's an honor. So thank you. So before we begin, Frankie said I could announce that maybe there's something here I'm supposed to say. Did you see it flutter down like that? Not yet. I will be leading in September, an opportunity for us to be agents of global change. We will be following Joel Goldsmith's strategy for world work, as he calls it, and I will be doing that on Zoom in the evenings. If you're interested in that, please stop and see me after class, after the service today. So let's begin, because it is time really to pause for guidance and to make way for newness. So I invite you right now to find that space in your chair where you feel totally supported, and to close your eyes if that is available to you. And let's just together take one nice, full, deep breath and let it go with a big sigh. Here we go. In. Let it go. And just feel those places where you need to release. Because it is in the release that we do make way for newness. So as you sit, knowing that you are fully guided and protected by Spirit, see if you can find in your body any place that is resisting peace and harmony, where you might feel tense, and just send it love. Because any place that there is tension is a block. And we know that our truth is harmony and flow. Our bodies are temples of the living God. So as you breathe, be aware of that space around you and in you and through you, because that is God's presence. God's presence is everywhere. And as you sit in this quiet, think for a moment, as Reverend Frankie asked, do you have a regret? Or do you have something that is gnawing at you or nagging at you? Something that you feel is a block? That's okay. Observe it. And now bring it into your heart so it can feel love. The love that is God, the ever-presence of the creative mind that knows all. Embrace it, because this is your opportunity to let it go. In love, not in regret. In life, in light. So let it be surrounded by the light. And let the omnipotence take over for you. Let go and let God. Just breathe and release. Make way for the new. And let go of the old that no longer serves you. Yes, feel that peace. Be with that peace. That openness. That beautiful receptivity. And as you sit in that peace, I'm going to do a reading that is a combination of Holmes, Goldsmith, and Niedt. I want you to take these words as your own, and afterwards, I will end with an affirmative prayer. So sit in the silence of that peace, and know, in the first person, these words are true. I am still in thy presence. I am quiet and peaceful, for I put my trust in thee. A great stillness steals over me, and a great calm quiets my whole being as I realize thy presence. My heart knows of thee, O Most High within. In thee I put my whole confidence, in thee alone. In thy presence I am still. I pause for guidance, knowing that the way is made clear. I am receptive. I let life flow through me in all that I do and say, and I am open as God lives and breathes in as and through me. I am now entered into the secret place of the Most High, where I can receive. And I know the truth for myself and all of mankind. Speak to me, Father, for I can hear you. I am ready, and I am clear to make way for newness. And I speak these words for each one here, either in person or virtual, that there is one life, one infinite mind that knows all, that each one can let go and let God in trust and truth and confidence, and let the light be the God, and let love be ever present, and let the light shine so the path is always clear, and the infinite power takes the reins and does the work. This is the truth of all. The ever-present love expressing as each individualized, beautiful soul right here and right now. So there is an openness. There is divine expectation of infinite possibility and infinite potential for good. And good is moving to greater good and the greatest good of all for each one and all mankind. Peace and harmony are ever present. And this is what we bring forth. This is how we let our light shine. So in gratitude we sit, in gratitude for this day, for this message, for this light, for the infinite mind that knows all. And in gratitude we let the thoughts go into the creative process, knowing it is made manifest, it is truth in action. And I release these words and we say together, and so it is. So thank you all for your presence and your love. Namaste.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan. So this morning I put together a little sing-along. So I have dance parts for the dancers, singing parts for the singers, and rhythmic parts for the tappers, for the drummers. Okay, so you can pick and choose or do a combination if you're feeling especially brave today. called waterfalls. It comes from when I was in Ithaca this summer, and I saw these waterfalls and all this water gushing out, and I just had this moment of enlightenment about how much is available to us. Going along also with Susan, how much is really there if we're just aware of it. There's really enough for everybody. Especially, and guidance goes along with that. So it goes like this. Let me get my notes. Oh my gosh, how's it go? Water, we were just singing it earlier. There is enough to go around. There is enough for everyone. There is enough to go around. There is enough for everyone. Waterfalls. Okay, so we need things for abundance. We'll start with what Frankie suggested earlier, joy. Okay, so we go. Waterfalls of joy flow on us. Everybody repeat. Waterfalls of joy flow on us. And it goes, waterfalls of joy flow over us. Feel free to make up your choreography. Over. Thank you, Frankie. Yeah, it's very fresh in my mind. Woke up with it. Waterfalls of joy flow on us. Waterfalls of joy flow over us. Waterfalls of joy flow on us. Waterfalls of joy flow over us. Okay, here's the rhythmic part. Actually, it's the other way around. It goes pop, pop, pop. Waterfalls of joy flow on us. Waterfalls of joy flow over us. Waterfalls of joy flow on us. Waterfalls of joy flow over us. That's the first part. Okay, second part. There is enough to go around. There is enough to go around. Right. There is enough for everyone. Oh, the other way. There is enough for everyone. There is enough to go around. There is enough for everyone. Okay, now let's try that with the rhythm. So we're going to say 1. There is enough to go around. There is enough for everyone. There is enough to go around. There is enough for everyone. Waterfalls of joy flow on us. Waterfalls of joy flow over us. Waterfalls of joy flow on us. Waterfalls of joy flow over us. There is enough to go around. There is enough for everyone. There is enough to go around. There is enough for everyone. Okay, what else does somebody want to feel abundance for today? Waterfalls of abundance? Love! Love! Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Waterfalls of love flow on us. Waterfalls of love flow over us. Waterfalls of love flow on us. Waterfalls of love flow over us. There is enough for everyone. There is enough for all of us. There is enough for all around. There is enough for everyone. Okay, I'm working way too hard here, people. Working way too hard. Come on, step it up. I can't do everything at once. Here we go. 1, 2, peace. Peace. Thank you. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Waterfalls of peace flow on us. Waterfalls of peace flow over
Yeah.